Hello, this is Priscilla with Scylla Travel coming at you live on a beautiful yet cloudy Saturday afternoon. So I'm in the Charleston, South Carolina area, and the days are starting to get shorter. It is cooling off, I'm happy to say. So it's usually hot and hotter here. So now that we are in the fall, things are starting to cool off. So we've got some like 70s weather, 70s, 80s, beautiful weather. So my name is Priscilla with Scylla Travel, and I help you live the dream through travel. For those of you who don't know me, I own a independent travel agency, and I help people create custom travel experiences for years to come. They will remember them. And I specialize in Africa, the Caribbean, North America, and beyond. So, like I said, I am here to help you live the dream through travel. Today, I just wanted to celebrate Charleston, South Carolina, because that's where I am, and the Gullah-Geechee Heritage, because October is the Gullah-Geechee Heritage Month. And I just wanted to talk a little bit about the Gullah-Geechee heritage and us being here in Charleston. Our heritage, where we came from, those of us of African descent who our forefathers came here as enslaved labor from the continent of Africa. So the Gullah-Geechee culture is something that everyone doesn't really know about, but now the past maybe 10, 15 years, it's started to be communicated to the world, to our country, because we are Americans. We are of African heritage, hence the term African American. Okay, so what I want to talk to you about today, Gullah-Geechee Heritage Month. So I'm here in Charleston, South Carolina. I'm in the Charleston area. So I am actually located in Summerville, which is about 20 miles from the downtown Charleston area. So I'm still considered in the Charleston area. It was a suburb. It's sort of grown together now. It's not so like a separate city any longer. People move to Charleston and they move to Summerville, and you're still in the traffic going to work. So this is what most people think of when they come to Charleston. You see the church up there, that's St. Michael's. You see the historic buildings that have pretty much been restored over the years. That's what people think of and what they see. But today we want to talk about the Gullah-Geechee people. Who are the Gullah-Geechee people? So if you've ever been to Charleston, or if you've ever seen any movies or video, or have friends who visited Charleston and they come to Charleston and they're like, oh yeah, I just wanted to take advantage of all of the culture and I bought baskets, that is a staple of the Gullah-Geechee culture. That is just one of the things that people come to Charleston to buy, are these sweetgrass baskets. So you see a woman here making her sweetgrass baskets that she sells. And this is something that's passed down from generations to generation. It is characteristic of Charleston. So this is my great-great-grandmother. She was born a slave. And she spoke the Gullah-Geechee language. So did my grandmother. And my mom did too, until she went off to college and left the South in the 50s. And they considered the language to be sort of, you didn't know how to speak good English, basically. So that's my great-great-grandmother Easter. So the Gullah-Geechee language, it's an English-based creolized mixture of African and English words. And it was spoken by the slaves of South Carolina and Georgia. So the Gullah-Geechee corridor stretches all the way from North Carolina. It stretches from North Carolina all the way to Florida. So when the slaves came to the Charleston area where the Charleston port is, they were brought in and then they were sold, and then they were dispersed from there. But some people stayed along the coast, and we have a lot of the islands, like the Sea Islands off of Charleston. There are also islands off of the coast of North Carolina. Can't remember the name of them off the tip of my tongue. It's on the tip of my tongue, but it's the edge of my memory. Can't remember the name of them. But there are islands there. The islands go all the way down the coast of from South Carolina, Charleston, to Beaufort, South Carolina, Hilton Head, Savannah. Then it goes farther down to Florida. So that's the Gullah-Geechee corridor. And the slaves who resided there mainly stayed or lived on these like barrier islands. So back then, there was no way to get to the mainland. And up until recently, maybe 20 years or so, even some more recent than that, especially some in Beaufort, some in Charleston, the people who lived on the islands in Charleston, like James Island, Folly, Johns Island, South Carolina, even farther, they were basically isolated. So they spoke this language because they were the only way to get to the mainland part of Charleston was by boat. Same in Beaufort. In Beaufort, South Carolina, like Helena's Island, or St. Helena's Island, that's what they say. That's how they call it. Some say St. Helena, some say St. Helena's Island. Years ago, you could only get there by boat. So now, now there's a bridge and everything that gets there. Where people can go back and forth. So now, people come back and forth to the mainland. But the people were basically isolated. So they spoke this language, like after slavery, they stayed there. They got this land, even Hilton Head Island. This land was considered not good land because it had lots of swamps. Now, of course, they want them for resorts. They want the land for resorts. So this language is not written. It's a combination of English and African words because all the people came from all these different places in Africa. They mostly left from West Africa to come here. The majority of the slave trade in Africa occurred in the Western region, West Africa, but not entirely. Okay. So this is where it began. This is just an example of where it began. This is Elmina Castle in Cape Coast. And that's off the coast of Ghana. So there were these places like castles. They're called castles, but they were, the technical term were called factors, right? So back in the 1500s and the 1600s, when the Portuguese, I believe they were the first with the slave trade, they needed to take their captives and get them on the ship, but they couldn't control them because they could escape. So they started building these places called, castles. And this is a picture of Elmina Castle off the coast of Ghana, in Cape Coast, Ghana. And this is where they were held. So they were dungeons where the slaves were held until they went through the door of no return to be shipped off to the Americas. So people were brought from all over. They were captured all over Africa and brought there and held there many months, and sometimes in many cases until the ship came to transport them to the New World. So the word Gullah is believed to come from African words. We're not sure, but we do believe that through oral tradition. It's thought to come from the African words Gora or Gola, or maybe even named after tribes in Angola and Sierra Leone. We're not entirely certain because we don't have that history. So what occurred during that time is, like I said, they were captured and brought to places like the castle, Elmina Castle off of Cape Coast, because there were many of them dotted up and down the coast of West Africa, several of them basically. I don't know how many are still standing, but in Ghana, there are at least two. Elmina Castle and the other one, I forgot the name of it. I am so sorry. It's off the tip of my tongue. But there were two castles. That was a picture of Elmina Castle where they were held. It was like a prison, They couldn't just keep them, so they built these places so they could keep them in sort of like a prison, in a dungeon, so they couldn't escape or uprise, because they would fight back. Okay, now the people themselves, like I mentioned, they were from all over Africa. There's a reason why they were desired, okay? Because they were skilled at agriculture. They knew how to build things. They were skilled at construction, farming animals, and they were also skilled at teaching. So the African people had many skills. They were very talented, which is why they were in huge demand. One of the main reasons that they were sought after is because they were able to grow and cultivate rice. And rice was considered black gold here in the United States. So the plantation owners here in the United States, especially around the coast, the Carolinas, the coastal regions, there were rice plantations. And the white plantation owners could not really stand, because the way that you have to grow the rice, you're very prone to disease such as yellow fever. And the slaves, the Africans, their bodies were acclimated to growing the rice, and they were very good at it. So that's one main reason why they were captured and brought here. They were black gold, and the rice was white gold. So they were brought here, like I said, as slave labor. They farmed, they cultivated, the crops for the plantation owners. And that's how this country basically got rich. They became traders of rice and cotton. And in the Caribbean, in the West Indies, which it was called sugar cane, was a huge crop. Sugar, rum, all of these staples, they needed labor, and they used slave labor to cultivate it. So, going back to the sweetgrass baskets, that is a characteristic of the Charleston area and the Gullah people, what they're known for. This is a skill that was brought from Africa, and it was passed from mother to daughter. And to this day, you can go downtown Charleston. You can go to many other places in the Gullah-Geechee corridor, and you can find women making these baskets by hand and selling them. So they grow they know how to grow the grass. They know how to pick the grass. They know how to dry the grass. They know how to weave it into these intricate patterns, into these famous sweetgrass baskets. So there's actually, I'm wearing a sweetgrass basket necklace made by one of the artisans that comes to the farmer's market here in Somerville, South Carolina. I go to the farmer's market here, and there are some artisans, and they got this skill, was passed down to them. They relocated from, I think it was New Jersey or something like that, but a woman and her sister, these two sisters, they came home and they continued the legacy of the sweetgrass baskets, and they also make jewelry. So this is just a sample of the necklace made from sweetgrass. I don't know if you can see it well enough. Let me take that off so you can see it better. And here you go. It's got a sandal on it, but this is a sweetgrass necklace. So these are some of the modern artisans They are the descendants, excuse the arrow, of the women who made these sweetgrass baskets, passed down from mother to daughter. Modern day times now, they're making jewelry. Next. Okay, for those of you who just joined me, I'm Priscilla with Zilla Travel, and I help you live the dream through travel. And let's see, I'm going to check to see if I have any comments. I'm going to check to see who is joining me live. Let's see, let me check the phone. You know, I usually check my phone just to make sure. I'm hearing it buzz in the background. I didn't even remember to check my phone to see if we're live. I believe we are, but I'm double checking just to make sure. And see, got my phone here. Let's double check. Am I live? Am I live? Am I live? Am I live? Let's see. And it looks like I'm live. Yes, indeed. I see it. There we go. So, if you are just joining me and you see, and if you'd like to comment, what you need to do is, hey, Jerry, I see Jerry Mason. Nice to see you. Jerry had an online event today. I attended her online event. It was very nice, very informative, Jerry. We all have to learn how to adapt during these COVID times. So, hey, Jerry. So remember, if you're out there, do hashtag live. And if you're a part of the replay audience, do hashtag replay. So let us see. I don't see any more. I don't see any more comments. No more comments. Let's see. I'm checking. Okay. So now we're moving on from the sweetgrass baskets here in Charleston. This is, for those of you who are just joining, this is Gullah-Geechee Heritage Month. And I'm in the Charleston, South Carolina area, and I decided to do a preview or, a little chat or dedicate this session to Gullah-Geechee Heritage Month. And so I just wanted to bring you a little heritage. And those of you, I see Jerry did hashtag live. Those of you who do the replay, remember to do hashtag replay. So now we're going to move on to some of the historic monuments here in Charleston. St. Michael's Episcopal Church. This is something that everybody comes here to see. This is just something that everyone comes to see. It's the first thing you see when you drive down King Street. You can see it from just about anywhere if you're coming down that way. People see that. It's got a giant steeple and it's got bells there that are rung by hand, mind you, several times a day. Noon, 12:15. I don't know the exact schedule, but most definitely they are rung. And that's a major tourist attraction. It's the oldest living church structure in Charleston. It's on the corner of Broad and Meeting Streets. But what we don't always hear, here's the story that we do not always hear. The story is about Gullah-Geechee residents. This is a notable Charlestonian. His name is Phillip Simmons. He was an iron worker. He was born in 1912, died 2009. He was an artisan. And by artisan, his art and his craft was blacksmithing. He was a blacksmith. He worked with decorative iron work. And his works were so famous that they were displayed at the Smithsonian, the South Carolina State Museum, even in locations as far as Paris, France, and China. Now, if you look in the middle, this is just a sample of one of his most famous works, most famous photograph works, and it's called Egret Gate, and it's at 2nd Street in the alley of St. Michael's in Charleston. So he was commissioned to do that ironwork for St. Michael's Church. He's done many works, and he was a pillar of the community, and he was very recognized, and we're proud of Mr. Phillip Simmons. He was a Charleston boy, born and bred in Wando, South Carolina. That's on Daniel Island, South Carolina. Now it's like really built up now, but we've got all this industry and everything over there. But these were small communities. So now that we talked a little bit about Gullah-Geechee Heritage Month, this is how I'm going to tie it together. We have a Ghana 2021 History, Heritage, and Safari Tours trip. The trip will be between 7 to 10 days. I'm narrowing it down to 9. I'm squeezing it into our Thanksgiving Day holiday. You know that we here in the U.S., we don't get that many days. So I'm trying to squeeze it in. It's going to be squeezed in during that week from the 20th of November to that following Sunday, where we'll fly back. So then people can still go to work on that Monday. So it's going to be 8 days, 9 nights. So I'm still working on it. I'm waiting on the flights, which is why I have not released it yet. I haven't released the price. You can still go. You can see the itinerary. You can get on the list. If you look in the description of this post, or if you look in the description of the YouTube video, or if you look in the description of Instagram, it will point you to the bio, where there is a button where you can click and you can sign up to get on the list. You can also view the itinerary. This is just the preliminary high-level itinerary. I'm still working on it. You're just going to have so many treats. We're planning on going to safari. We're planning on traveling all around the country of Ghana, and we will stop to one of these castles, either at Elmina Castle or the other castle in Cape Coast, Ghana, so that we can see these factors, or these castles, what they're called in Ghana right now. So these places are open for tourists, and it is a sobering experience. So if you're coming along, I must warn you, it's a very sobering experience. I've known people tell tales that they can actually smell, feel, the energy, and even smell the bodies in this place. So it's going to be, it's a trip where we get to experience our history and relive that history through the heritage of the Ghanaian people. So we are taking a trip to Ghana. We're going to be traveling around the country. We won't be in one place. Like I said, we'll have safari. We'll go to national parks. We'll be going to Kumasi. That's where the palace is that's the capital of the Ashanti Kingdom. We're planning on having a naming ceremony. We'll go to the Cape Coast and other places, and we'll have some beach days in there, as well as spending some time in Accra. That's the capital city, and it's in the eastern region of Ghana. And it's a cultural place, and it's like a cultural metropolitan sort of melting pot of people. There's lots of energy there. There's lots of industry going on in the country of Ghana. The country of Ghana is one of the fastest and largest growing economies in 2019. So Ghana is not, it's not like we have been brought up to believe about Africa. So Africa is the future, and Africa is coming up, and the people of Ghana have invited us, diasporans from the US, diasporans from the UK, diasporans from the Caribbean, to come visit, experience, and explore the country of Ghana. But I'm speaking for the folks here in the United States because that's where I am. So I'm organizing the trip. I'm going on this trip. So little backstory on me. I did my DNA test, saw my in my heritage was 23% Nigerian and 23% Ghanaian. So low-hanging fruit. I'm going to Ghana. And I hope you're going along with me. Okay, so now if you've never been to Africa, or maybe you've never been farther than the Caribbean, or maybe you've only taken one of those closed loop cruises when cruising was allowed, you know, where you get on the Carnival, one of the Carnival ships or Norwegian, and you go to the Caribbean and then you sail right back. You don't need a passport for that, right? No, you don't. So check out the complete guide that I have, the post-pandemic issue, international travel documents, what to bring and how to keep them safe. And this, like I said, this is a post-pandemic issue. So this will help prepare you for our trip to Ghana or any other international destination that you would like to visit. I am a travel agent, a travel advisor, travel concierge, travel planner. So this is what I do. I take care of the details so you can rest, relax, and focus on the fun. So I create tailored travel experiences. I design them, customize them, support you, and I also support you and your groups. Now, that part can be a little tricky, especially if it's a family group. Hey, I know what it's like. I have family too. So some of you who might have gotten tagged to do a family reunion, I can help with that. The Dominican Republic right now, they've got some pretty good programs right now, some pretty good offerings right now, and their travel restrictions are not as stringent as some other places. I'm just putting that little bug in your ear there. How you work with me? I work by consultation. I work by appointment. So what you need to do is you just click the link in the bio if you're on Instagram, click the link in the post if you're on Facebook, click the link in the video if you're on YouTube, and get a courtesy discovery call. It's all free. So we do our talking, we figure out what kind of trip it is that you would like to take, where you'd like to go, what your budget is, what things you would most definitely love to do. And if you determine that you would like to work with me, if we're a good fit to work with each other, then we just sign the travel services agreement, pay the fee. Yes, there's a fee because these are travel planning services that I offer. And then I book your trip. I support you before, during, and even after you come back. That's at www.stillatravel.com. What does that do for you? It gives you freedom. I can actually save you money. Working with a travel advisor is most definitely advised in this day and age post-COVID. But COVID's not really gone. It's just at bay for a little while. We just have to figure out how to live, because it doesn't seem like it's going anywhere anytime soon. So this is I'm going to end this with Miss Carolyn White. She is a Gullah storyteller. And I remember working with her when I worked at the VA hospital in Charleston. Some years ago, I worked in the EEO office, and we put on these programs, diversity programs. And during our Black History Month programs, our EEO manager, she invited Miss Carolyn, and she would come and do the stories. So hang on a second, and I will be And I will be doing, Miss Carolyn, I've got a little treat for you. Let's see. Here we go. Hang on, just give me 1 second. There we go. Here we go. And here's a little treat for you.
So my name is Carolyn White. I'm one of Charleston's Gullah storyteller. I do a lot of Gullah storytelling because I would love for the children to know more about their heritage, about the language, to be proud of it like I am. Very proud of my culture, my language, my ancestors, period. Because if it wasn't for them, I probably wouldn't be standing where I am today. And so it's really important to me that we remember the culture, remember some of the things that I do, going way back. And I like to tell the children about different things. Like they didn't even know, like how we cook good old okra soup and lima beans and pigtail and pig feet. A lot of people don't even know about the pig feet thing. I said, what? I said, that was good. But you see, we had those things and mad to cook them things because those are the things most of them throw away on the plantation. When it was butchering time, those things they didn't want. The old people, ancestors, the slaves, as you would call them, would preserve and take those things to cook with, the bone. And now, guess what? That's what everybody want to know now, how we cook with damn bone and make things so good, like the neck bone. Now they tell you now don't eat too much because you cholesterol and all them things like that. But back then we came up with no cholesterol. It was good eating, you see, good eating. Man, I tell you. So now most of the white folks now they want to learn, how we make our stuff so good. And you tell them and they buy the neck bones a little bit too. But now they buy, just say about the turkey, But we only used to have a turkey on like Thanksgiving time. They ain't never used to eat that all the time, The bones was what we had. And so we grew up like that. So it's nice for the children to know. Because all they know now is put things in the microwave, put them in and take them out, bang, Then they wonder why they got so much thing wrong with their body, They eating that fast thing. But we put them on the stove and let them cook sometime for an hour or two. Let them bake for an hour or two, and it's real good. Talking about the food, I know you visit the Gullah-Geechee and they tell you some about that. And we used to bake macaroni. We used to stir no macaroni in no dish and call that mac and cheese. That's what they call them now. But we did bake macaroni, in the oven. Yeah, bake.
So that's Miss Carolyn. She was speaking a little Gullah. The video is 14 minutes long, so I just wanted to give you a brief clip of the video. I will post the video again. I did post it on my social media a couple times. I will post it again. So for those of you who would like to enjoy the entire video of Miss Carolyn talking Gullah, feel free. But this is Priscilla with Scylla Travel coming at you live. Hope that you have a wonderful rest of your Saturday evening. Remember, hashtag replay for those of you who are on the on the replay audience. And remember, I help you live the dream through travel. Happy Gullah-Geechee Heritage Month.